Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It is now 2021, new year, new ideas, new things happening. Very excited about that. I know technically we've already had like 3 videos this year that came out on the channel, but this is the first one that was actually recorded this year. So hello, welcome, hi, how you doing? So today we're continuing another tradition we started on the channel last year, which is predictions for the upcoming year. I really enjoyed doing this video last year. We just went through a bunch of my ideas for what 2020 could hold for Nintendo and all of their software and hardware even and all that. And looking back on it, I was so wrong. Let's just take like a brief look at what I was thinking last year. So I said Breath of the Wild 2 will come out in 2020, or if not that, Super Mario Odyssey 2. Good one. And I also said that Metroid Prime Trilogy would come out. Still haven't seen that. I also said that we would not see Metroid Prime 4. Hey, I got that one. I also said that there would be a port of Pikmin 3 and some kind of Zelda port. Halfway there, we did get Pikmin 3 Deluxe. We did not see Wind Waker or Twilight Princess, is what I think I talked about last year. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen the video. But I think that's what I said, so halfway there. Bayonetta 3. Development is progressing. And finally, not finally, there's a little bit more, but I said N64 on Nintendo Switch Online. That didn't happen. I said Super Mario Party 2. Didn't happen, but maybe soon. And I also said Smash character predictions, which was Geno, Rayman, Master Chief, Ryu Hayabusa, and Crash Bandicoot. None of those came true, but I did get Microsoft rep. I talked about during the Master Chief section that I thought we would get a Microsoft rep, and it could be Master Chief or Steve. I was leaning towards Master Chief. We got Steve, so I mentioned Steve at least, so that's good. Yeah, halfway there. And I said new Kirby game coming next year, so I said new Kirby game in 2021, I guess is what that prediction was. Mario Sports game reveal, didn't see that. New WarioWare, didn't see that. So basically a lot of things that just didn't exist is what I said. So you might see a little bit of overlap here in this year's predictions, but I tried to keep it like more grounded this time and also like different. I didn't want to like retread the exact same ground as last year. So I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a cool video, and I hope you guys are excited to see just how wrong I am this year compared to last year. Let's jump into it. So we're going to approach this on a month-by-month basis, starting with January, which it's a little late to predict this month since the video is coming out in late January. I'm sorry, it's been a bit of a slow month for me, but we got a Bowser's Fury trailer, and then while in production for this video, we got a Pokemon Snap trailer. Now, I will say, even though it doesn't really matter because the video is being recorded after this, even though it was already in production, I did initially say that Pokemon Snap would come out in April, which it is. We got that in the most recent trailer, so I'm gonna pat myself on the back a little bit for that, just a little bit, just a little nudge there. I initially thought it was going to be a Pokemon Direct, like a whole thing, which at this point I don't think so, since we did get the drop of new Pokemon Snap. Still don't understand why Nintendo likes using new so much. I mean, this is even the Pokemon company, just like transcending companies now, so that's great. Great to see, love it. But yeah, we got the Bowser's Fury trailer. It looks way better than I expected it would ever look, which is amazing. And we also have the new Pokemon Snap trailer, which looks just about as amazing as I hoped it would as well. So, good start off to the year, Nintendo. I don't really think there's going to be much else this month. I think February is going to be a big month, which we will get into here in just a second. But yeah, no new Smash character this month like last year or anything like that. But we did get these 2 awesome new trailers. For my predictions, at least, February is actually a pretty big month for Nintendo. So we're going to start off the month, of course, on February 12th, the release of 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, a game that's really looking to be like a tremendous bundle. Even though Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury is coming out this month, it's not the biggest event of the month in my book. See, I think we will actually have 2 big Nintendo presentations this month for anniversaries of some pretty special game franchises. So, first, on the 21st of February, we have the Zelda 35th anniversary. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time to be a game series. But yeah, 35 years, it's here. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, probably the 10th time at this point, 2021 looking like a good year for Zelda. I think we're going to have a whole direct announced, actually. What's going to be in that Zelda Direct, you might be asking? Well, of course, the big question is Breath of the Wild 2. Will we see the game this year? Will the game come out this year? All of that stuff. Now, I might sound like a broken record, and I probably am, but I think it's going to come out this year. Yeah. If you guys have stuck with the channel for a while now, you have seen my just utter confusion at when this game is coming out and changing my mind at every step of the way. Like I said, last year I said, oh, it's going to come out in 2020. That didn't happen. Halfway through the year I said, maybe it still will come out in 2020. What the heck was I thinking? But I do think now that 2021 might just be the year. Now, this game has been in development since the end of Breath of the Wild's development and the DLC, which was at the end of 2017. By the end of this year, that will have been 4 years of development. And let me remind you, Breath of the Wild was in development for probably 5 years. I mean, it was announced back in 2013. Skyward Sword came out in 2011, so they might have gotten to work on that a little earlier. But I also need to remind you that this is a game that is using the exact same engine. It already has a lot of the physics and stuff worked out that was such a big problem for them when developing Breath of the Wild. I think back to this, it's really interesting. Breath of the Wild actually has a pretty well documented development. Like, they came out and made a bunch of these making of videos, and they did a presentation at GDC, and it's just really interesting. Maybe I'll make like a whole video about that at some point, but I was just thinking about that the other day. I was like, Breath of the Wild is one of the few games I can look at and say, that development cycle is actually pretty well documented, so I'm thankful for that. I'm very thankful. But back to the topic at hand here. It seems like the timeline is pointing to this year. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say Breath of the Wild 2 this year. We've had all these rumors about Switch Pro. That's a perfect game to pair it with, which we'll get into in just a second. Actually, why not just right now? It's gonna come out with the Switch Pro. That's my prediction. Like, Switch Pro tie in with this game, have like a special edition or something, and that's how they're gonna launch it. And yeah, first trailer in this Zelda Direct in February is what I'm saying. Second trailer, technically, but you know. What else is going to be in the Direct? Well, of course, it's on everyone's mind. Is there going to be a Zelda collection? We had that for Mario, and Zelda has just as many great games out there to pull from for a collection as Mario. So that's been a hot topic of debate. I'm leaning towards yes. I still have in the back of my mind, though, that Nintendo is a weird entity that will do one thing, and then they'll have this other thing lined up that seems like, oh, it makes so much sense. You did a Mario collection, just do a Zelda collection. But they don't. So never count that part out where Nintendo just doesn't do what you expect. But then the question comes to what games will it be? For me personally right now, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking Nintendo, and I'm thinking just Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess just bundled into one. Which is probably the easiest route to go with this, because you can literally just take those games, change a few things in there, but it could be a pretty one-to-one just like together, and that's just a great deal already. Of course, what a lot of people want to see is maybe Majora's Mask 3D, maybe Ocarina of Time 3D, have that collection. I brought this up in a Sheikah Squad discussion a while ago, but I was like, what if we can just get both? We can have one package together with Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD, and then we can have the 3D games, Majora and Ocarina, on one disc as well. Cartridge, yeah, because Switch. But I honestly think it's just going to be the Wii U ports packaged together in one called the Zelda Anniversary Collection, and that will be coming out in May. Another thing I think will be shown off here at this presentation is DLC for Age of Calamity. It's inevitable, basically. Like, we've seen the data mines that point to there being more playable characters and everything, which, I mean, could be leftovers from development, but did you see all the DLC that Hyrule Warriors got? It got, like, quite a few packs, like from Definitive Edition and the 3DS one and the original game. There was a lot of DLC, so I'm pretty sure that's probably going to happen. So I think they'll probably announce that there and say that there are going to be 2 waves of DLC, 2 different waves, and launch dates. We will get into those as we continue down through our schedule for the year and predictions. The final thing that I think could show up here in this Zelda Direct is a bit of a a bit of a stretch, little bit. Not 100% sure on this myself, but I went ahead and put it in here because I think it might be shown at some point this year, and I couldn't find a better point to show it off. And that is the reveal of a new 2D Zelda game. Just a teaser saying that yes, there's a new 2D Zelda game coming next year. Knowing Nintendo recently, this is too early for them to announce that, but also knowing that you have to keep momentum up and have things in the future for people to look forward to as well. I don't know, maybe. Talked about this in the most recent Future of Zelda video. There is still a 2D game in development. I think it's probably coming next year. It's just a matter of when they show it off, if you ask me. So that's starting the year off on a really good foot, actually. All this new Zelda content to just excite us all. But that's not it, because the Pokemon Company exists, and you know that they love to have all kinds of presentations during the year. Last year, when Nintendo wasn't dropping anything, the Pokemon Company dropped 2 Pokemon Presents a week in a row. So what can we expect from them? Well, I think they're going to do a bit more of a conventional thing this year and not have as many presentations, but have one big one right here in February to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Pokemon. That's this year. The 20th just felt like a year ago, but the 25th is already here, and what are the games going to be? I will tell you. My ideas, at least. I don't know if they're going to be true. Of course, we already know that new Pokemon Snap is on the way, but there's also another game that we've known is on the way for a while now that we just haven't seen, and I think this is the year we will see it, and that is Detective Pikachu 2. I think we're going to see that this year. It's been a while, actually, since they announced this game. It was announced all the way back in 2019, back when the movie came out as well, which I have to mention the movie because that made Detective Pikachu a big name. Like, this is a much bigger series now than it was when the first game came out, so I feel like they're definitely going to try to step it up a little bit with this new game. I played Detective Pikachu. I didn't fully finish it, but I played like probably 75% of the game, and it's a decent game, but it's very easy and very just kind of basic, I guess I could say. So I feel like they really have a chance here to just step it up a whole lot. I think this might be the year we see it. It's definitely going to be a Switch game. It's definitely going to be a Switch game now because the first one was 3DS, but I'm excited to see that. I think it's going to be in February with the announcement of the other thing I'm about to announce, because I just talked about Pokemon Snap. I haven't said the other thing yet. What's the other thing? We're all waiting to hear. What's going to be the big new game, Xeno? What's going to be the Pokemon game of the year? Let's Go Johto is what I would have originally said. Like I said, this video has been in production for a little bit. I've been slacking on getting it out. And over that time, I've been able to just mull over my ideas and predictions a whole lot more. And just look at the little evidence we have so far this year from leaks and rumors and everything. And I started going into this year thinking that Pokemon Company was going to do Let's Go Johto, because it's just such a Pokemon Company move. It really is. Nobody really wants that right now, but we're gonna give it to you anyway. In the grand scheme of things, doing a Let's Go game this year might actually be their better option compared to what I think they're going to do and what I think is going to fail, which is the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes. These games are really near and dear to my heart. They're the first Pokemon games that I played, and I love them to death. But the thing is, if they do those remakes right now, they're going to be in the Sword and Shield engine, and I don't know if they had enough time to actually make them as great as they should be. So, I don't know. I genuinely feel like doing a Let's Go game might actually be Pokemon Company's best path this year, but I don't think that's what's happening. We've had rumors come out, we've had tinfoil hat speculation with Katy Perry having songs relating to Diamond and Pearl, apparently. And it feels like 25th anniversary, you have to do something big. Diamond and Pearl remakes would be that, but I do think that Pokemon Company needs to start putting some more time and effort into their products and giving their team more time to just work on this stuff, more money as well. I mean, it's the #1 media franchise in the world. Sword and Shield was great, but it has a lot of flaws, and I really want to see those improved on. Oh yeah, I just kind of forgot about these other two things. New mobile game and Pokemon Sleep news. I think we'll see those in this direct as well. Like I said, I think it's going to be a big Pokemon direct in February. Basically, just a ton of news for Zelda and Pokemon in February. That's what I'm seeing. And that is February for us, actually. So it's time to move on to March. Now, I'm trying to refrain from talking about third-party games too much, because if I did, that would make this a super long video. But March is the month of, as I wrote in my notes, Mr. Hunter Rise. For those of you that aren't that big into Monster Hunter, myself included, really, I played some of the demos. I played Generations on Switch because my friends were like, hey, play this game with me, and I was like, okay. I didn't get too much into it, but I do appreciate what is there. It is a great game from what I can see. And Rise, just looking at it from that perspective of what I have on the series, this looks like a really impactful and good game. Like, yeah. Monster Hunter is huge in Japan, and having this brand new Monster Hunter game looks really good, like an evolution of what Generations is to the series. That style, just on Switch now, it's, oh my gosh, the Switch, if you didn't think the Switch was dominating Japan already, this is the nail in the coffin, I think, really. So yeah, the big release of this month will be the third-party game Monster Hunter Rise, but I mean, it is still exclusive to a Nintendo system, so I think it still counts, basically, to talk about it here, and just how much of an impact it will have. Beyond that, this is where I dropped my surprise announcement. So we had Origami King just kind of pop up out of nowhere last year. It was just like a Nintendo posted a trailer and was like, hey, game you didn't think was going to happen. Here it is. This year, I think that might happen again with another game, and I was trying to think of what that game could be, but I could not think of a great idea for it, so I decided I'm just going to go with what I personally want, which is a new Tomodachi Life game. Tomodachi Life is the life sim game, and it's freaking hilarious and amazing, and I love it to death, and it's stuck on the 3DS, and we only ever got one game here in the US, and I'm really sad that we haven't seen it again since. Nintendo's kind of been retiring the Miis altogether, though. Like, the Miis are not in their marketing anymore. They've kind of just been delegated to, hey, here's your My Nintendo avatar. But, I don't know, I'd really love to see that, and yeah, just Tomodachi Life on Switch would be so cool. It would. Yeah. Sim games are also working for Nintendo right now with Animal Crossing, so hey, maybe they were like, oh, right after Animal Crossing started taking off, they're like, okay, let's get some Tomodachi Life in here too. People love that. So that's my surprise curveball prediction of the year. They're just gonna drop a Tomodachi Life 2 trailer in March, and that will be coming out in June. March will also be the month of the first Age of Calamity DLC release, which is going to be a bit of a lighter one. If I was to say what it's going to be about, I didn't really think that much into it, but off the top of my head, I was kind of brainstorming this earlier. I was thinking maybe like a, what's it called? The Trials, you know, the Master Sword Trials that was the DLC for the first game, Breath of the Wild. I feel like maybe if you did something similar to that in Age of Calamity, that would be cool, because that was actually a really fun DLC challenge. Oh, and also, I totally forgot this earlier when talking about Monster Hunter, but I think there's going to be a Smash character announced this month as well, because just like the timing kind of works out. We have 3 left. I think they're all coming this year, and I think this one might actually be Monster Hunter, because, like I was getting at earlier, Monster Hunter is huge. It's really big, and this new game, cross-promotion, is there as well, so you could play off that. Rathalos is already in the game. I guess that you could say that kind of like defeats the purpose of putting the Monster Hunter character in, because hey, we already have representation of them, but I don't know, Capcom doesn't have another character besides Mega Man, I'm pretty sure, and Monster Hunter seems like a good fit beyond that. I think it might happen. It might happen. Yeah. So that's my first prediction for a Smash character. We'll see more of those as we go. On to April. All that I have here really is just the new Pokemon Snap releases, so I guess on to May. Okay, so May is actually also a pretty slow month, I guess. We're just kind of switching the months this year that are usually slow, because usually we have February is a really slow month, and then kind of March to an extent. No, this time I put it as April and May, so we'll see if that actually happens, but that's my prediction. I still think games are going to come out this month. Shin Megami Tensei 5, which we were told last year, is actually coming out early 2021 in spring, which this is like the end of spring, the most end you can get of spring. I mean, technically you could go into June as well, but I feel like this is going to be the month for Shin Megami Tensei. I'm really excited because Atlas said they're going to do a worldwide release. We'll see if that actually plays out. And beyond that, I also said earlier, I think this is going to be when the Zelda Collection releases, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. So that's basically this month. I also wanted to just add in here, because I've forgotten it for the past 3 months, that I do think that we are going to continue getting partner showcases. You might have noticed that I did not have any regular directs on my predictions so far, which is not something I just was like, oh, I forgot directs. No, that's intentional. I don't think there's going to be any directs for the first half of the year here, and we instead will continue to get these partner showcases to show off like third-party games that would usually be in directs, but since Nintendo is not going to be doing that, that's how they're going to be doing it. Maybe one every month, maybe like they'll skip 1 month, but yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty regular thing still. I thought I'd just bring that up in May since not much else is happening. Anyway, June. Okay, so here is our big month. 2020 was a weird year for everything, everyone, and yeah, 2021, it's yet to be seen just how different it's going to be from last year, and how things will play out with the current situation around the world. But I do think that for Nintendo, at least, I guess, yeah, we will see them do a big presentation this year, unlike they did last year. I do think that's going to be coming back, whether it's at E3 or just on their own time at a digital Nintendo Direct, because it's basically the same thing anyway. I think it's going to happen in June. And here is what they're going to show. Super Mario Party 2, a game I will continue to predict until it happens, because it is just such a surefire thing. It's going to happen. Super Mario Party sold so well. And like even we saw like earlier this year, ND Cube is hiring for new people right now in like a mysterious new Switch game that they're developing. Pretty darn sure that's Super Mario Party 2, and I feel like this is the year that we see it as a holiday title. And I hope that it's just like a even better version of what Super Mario Party already was. They're going in the right direction again. Just fix up those boards, and we got quite the banger of a game on our hands, I think. Beyond that, there's also some pretty other interesting things that I'm predicting for this E3 big Nintendo Direct presentation. The return of Nintendo Directs, basically. A new Monolith game is revealed, which is something that will very deeply please me, and I will probably lose my voice screaming of happiness, but I do think it's about time that we see what this new project Monolith Soft is working on might be. Now, it's really interesting the way that Monolith Soft has hinted at this project. They a few years ago posted this art and said, hey, we're looking for some employees to help us develop a new IP. Now, they've done this many times before, actually. If you look back into the history of the company, when they're like recruiting people, they're just like post, hey, here's some concept art of like the kind of stuff we like to do and think about before we make our games. And it all looks really good. No matter if it's like a real game or just like something like, okay, here's like a concept we had. It all still looks really good. So we saw this concept art a few years ago. Really got a lot of people excited. I don't know if the final game is going to look anything like that, but either way, it looks really exciting. There's also just this whole theory that I've kind of had myself that it could theoretically be a Zelda game, because if you look at one of these concept art pieces, you can see that there's this like logo on the wall that looks kind of like a crest of Hyrule and Triforce and all that, but that's besides the point. I think whatever their new project is, they're going to tease it this year, because they've been kind of like, unlike Nintendo recently, they've always been forthcoming with what they're working on, I guess. Like, they gave us like a year or two advance before the game actually comes out. Back when X was released, it was like quite a few years before we saw that again. But they kind of learned their lesson with Xenoblade 2, showed that like a year before it came out. And I'm hoping that we see a little bit of what they're working on, because I'm so excited for whatever the heck it could be. And I think this pseudo E3 presentation might just do that for us. We will also get a new character reveal for Smash, and it will be the Bandicoot. I continue to predict this guy just because I think he's a shoo-in, really. Like, he's Crash Bandicoot. What else can I say? He probably deserves to be in Smash. He's technically an Activision character now, so that's cool. It should be easier to get him into the game if Nintendo or Activision wants to do that partnership. I feel like they would both be pretty down for that, unlike Sony, who probably wouldn't be because they just don't like to play nice. But I'm hoping that's what happens, just so that we can see a reveal trailer that like harkens back to like the whole Mario and Crash hating each other thing. Like, you remember those old commercials where he's just outside Nintendo HQ, just like, hey, mustache man, pull my boy, all that. In the perfect world, that is what we would see in the reveal trailer. Just start off with that. So that's my prediction for that. Second year in a row predicting Crash Bandicoot. If it doesn't happen, well, that's a real shame. But yep, Crash is going to be a new character. Here's another thing I'm going to continue predicting until it happens. Bayonetta 3. Where the heck is it? Where's the game, Kamiya? We have heard like 3 years in a row now the game is progressing smoothly and everything. But where is the game? You revealed this back in the end of 2017 at the Game Awards. I'm almost sure at this point that you had barely anything when you did that reveal done for the game, but now I feel like it's about time you show us something, at least, if it doesn't release this year. I'm gonna say it releases this year just because I want it to, because I feel sorry for Bayonetta fans, but we'll see. Bayonetta 3 at this Direct, and it releases this year. That's my prediction. So here's another kind of out there prediction, which is we will get something new for Splatoon. So Splatoon had its support ended for it back at like halfway through 2019, and since then, we've had like some pop-up Splatfests and everything. We just had the one for Superstar and Mushroom, but not a lot coming from them. Except there was this one piece of art, and it's killing me not knowing about what the heck they were trying to say with this. So back at the beginning of 2020, they posted this art, and it's like, Happy New Year's, yeah? But then you see in the water, you see that? It says SOS. Save our salmons. And it's a tease for something. It has to be a tease for something. Most likely a Splatoon 3, because, you know, Chaos won and everything, and the whole theory is that Splatoon 3 is going to be all about like chaos and everything, which that'll be interesting. And Salmonids might play a key role in that. We'll see. But I don't know. Maybe we'll see something from it. Maybe not. Maybe that was just a tease that like, hey, we're getting development started on Splatoon 3. I don't know. But I'd like to see something new from it because I'm really invested in it. So I'm just going to put it here and say, hey, maybe some new Splatoon news. Also, I think this Direct will finally be when we get some news on Metroid. Not the news we were expecting at all. Not the trilogy, not Metroid Prime 4. A new 2D Metroid from Mercury Steam. If you didn't know, Mercury Steam is a developer that was brought on to make Samus Returns, the remake of Metroid 2. And they did a really good job with that game. That is the first Metroid game that I played. I loved it to death, and now I'm into the series. It got me into the series. And I feel like Nintendo needs to hand them the reins and let them make a new game. That might not be what happens. We heard rumors last year or something about a Super Metroid remake, which would also be cool, I guess, but I want them to be making a new game. That's what I want to see. Whatever it is, I think we might see it this year. We had the rumors about Paper Mario in new 2D Metroid last year. The Paper Mario part came true, so maybe there still is a 2D Metroid that we just haven't seen yet. I don't know. I'm excited to see. It's all predictions. That's my prediction. And of course, the final thing at this big Nintendo Direct presentation, based off what I have already said, is going to be Breath of the Wild 2. The big blowout of it, gameplay finally shown, all that stuff, and it's gonna be super, super nice. I can't wait to finally see this game and what the heck it is. I've been thinking about it for like a year and a half now, and I want to see more. So I'm excited if this is actually what happens. Don't you just love when all your predictions are most certainly going to come true, so you can be excited about them? I do. Also, I totally forgot to talk about this when we were actually talking in June, but I think that the Switch Pro will also be announced with Breath of the Wild 2's big reveal and everything, and they will talk about how it's so great and can play Breath of the Wild 2 in 4K, and it's pretty pricey because of that, but yeah. I think it will actually be 4K, which I'm excited about. So yeah, that's my giant June Direct idea, where I think they're just gonna show us everything, basically. Besides that, Tomodachi Life releases this month, so that's cool. That's June. July, here we come. So in July, we will have the release of Crash Bandicoot in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which will be nice. And beyond that, I think there might just be like another pop-up announcement where we see some new Kirby spin-off games. Now, I say this because I heard an article that HAL Laboratories is talking about how they're going to do some new stuff with Kirby this year. Now, I also have heard rumors about a 3D Kirby game going on. I believe that it was found in like the Star Allies data files, or like the files for something when data mining. That there's apparently like some hints of a 3D Kirby game being in development. I don't know. But basically, I think that there is a big Kirby game in development, but it's not going to be ready this year. So I think they might just do some, more Kirby spin-offs and stuff. Maybe they'll have a Kirby mobile game. That seems a little overdue. Then again, Nintendo seems to be pulling out of the mobile market a little bit, so we'll have to see. But I feel like that could happen. That might happen, Kirby spin-offs. Anyway, August. So as we go into August, we are continuing to have these easy months because already had everything revealed back in June for the rest of the year, basically. I mean, at least for now. So in August, we're just going to see the release of Detective Pikachu 2, which is going to be, like I said, hopefully a real more super ambitious game than the last one was. The last one was good, but I think this could be really, really good. So that'll be in August, and that'll be about it. So, September. In September, we will see the release of the 2D Metroid game shown earlier this year, which will most likely be fun no matter what the heck it is. And beyond that, we will get a Direct, actually. Yeah, weren't expecting that, right? Another General Direct this year? That's a miracle. These predictions are getting outlandish, aren't they? Yeah. I said I was trying to keep myself grounded, but I guess I expect too much from Nintendo, I guess. But I do think there will be another Direct in September, and I think it's going to set up next year a little bit, kind of like we had with the 2018 Direct in September that set up 2019. So, what is it going to set up? Well, we kind of already talked about how Monolith and a new 2D Zelda might be teased, so we can't... I mean, I guess we could talk about those more, but my ideas were actually something different. That doesn't make any sense. I had one idea. And my one idea for a game to announce to set up next year is Pikmin 4. Now, I know, Pikmin 4 doesn't exist, but hear me out. Have you ever heard of the Luigi's Mansion syndrome? So I was talking about that 2018 Nintendo Direct a little bit earlier, right? Now, here's the interesting thing. Before that Direct came out, we were already anticipating a new Luigi's Mansion game in the form of a remake of the original game on 3DS. Now, I ask you to look at that and then look at the Pikmin series because something pretty similar could happen here. Pikmin 3 Deluxe is... it's great, and we just heard recently that it's selling really good in Japan, and it's the best selling of the series in Japan. So it's setting up the series for success again, which is basically what the Luigi's Mansion port was supposed to do. It was kind of weird because they put it on 3DS, so it didn't quite do that, but you get the idea. Not a successful series getting a port of one of their first games earlier so that they can set up success for the sequel. I think we could technically see that with Pikmin 4. I know it's a long shot, but at this point, I'm trying to just grab onto anything that I can to say that this game still exists and it's coming because I really, really want to play it. But Pikmin 4 coming 2022, teased in September 2021. Man, I hope so. So beyond that bombshell announcement, this Direct will mostly focus on giving us more information on the games that are already coming out this year. Based on what I said earlier, we're going to see more on Diamond and Pearl, we're going to see more on Bayonetta, and some Super Mario Party 2 stuff as well. That's kind of what we can expect. But at the end of this Direct, we're also going to get a big blowout of the second wave of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity DLC, which I think is going to be much more substantial than the first wave, and it's going to tell a brand new story. A story that will tie directly into Breath of the Wild 2. And that'll be interesting if it actually happens. It probably won't. I mean, I'm predictions, but maybe. And that brings us to the final thing of this Direct, which is the final Smash character announcement. Who is it? Who could they possibly end off such a great cycle of new characters, new content, just absolutely some of the best DLC I've ever seen. I love playing as all these characters. I think it was such a cool thing to just be there and see when they were all announced and everything. But who can you end this off with without disappointing people? Well, I mean, the easy answer is anybody, because like we initially thought the first pass was going to end with the fifth character, which turned out to be Byleth, so that was fun. But I do think that Nintendo is going to do someone big for the end of this, and you know who I genuinely think it might be? Waluigi. Nintendo is usually not one to listen to fan demand. They're more gonna do their own thing and stay in the lane that they want to stay in. But I feel like Waluigi in Smash is one of the few things that they see that demand so much, and they're like, I feel like they might actually do it. I know they're probably like super annoyed by it and they don't want to do it. I don't know. I don't know the opinion of Sakurai on Waluigi. I don't know if he just hates him to death or anything, but I think that Nintendo, not even if Sakurai, I think it might actually happen. It would be a heck of a way to end off this DLC, and that's my best prediction at the moment. This month we will finally see the release of Bayonetta 3. Even I don't know if I believe that one. Alongside this, Super Mario Party 2 will release, and the Age of Calamity DLC Wave 2. And that will lead us into our last two releases here in November. And they're the two big ones, of course, being Pokemon Diamond and Pearl Remix from Pokemon, and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 from Nintendo. And I'm so excited if that actually does happen. Just saying those words gives me such excitement, you know? That's why I love making prediction videos, you know? Because you get to think about what could be, and hopefully it's right. And if it is right, you just like, you're like, oh, I'm right, but then also like, wow, because usually your predictions are like the stuff you want to see. So, oh gosh, I hope I'm right, guys. I hope I'm right, yeah. So, after ending off the year with that bang, a new Zelda sequel to Breath of the Wild, and remix of my favorite Pokemon games, then we will see December. Not much will happen in December, of course, you know, the Game Awards, because those always happen in December. And I think Nintendo will actually show off something super cool here again. I mean, Sephiroth was this last year at this point. Jeez, I'm not adjusting to 2021. So that did happen. That was super cool. But I think like even cooler than that is gonna happen. And you know what I think that's gonna be? Metroid Prime 4 is finally gonna get a real teaser. I think it's time. I think end of 2021 is when we will finally see this game, and it's hopefully it lives up to the hype. I mean, man, you've seen all those recruitments they've been doing, all these industry veterans and everything. The game is it's on track to be really good. I just hope that it can live up to that. Just finally gonna see it end of this year. That's my prediction, and that's my predictions because that's the last one. So yeah, that is my 2021 Nintendo predictions, and I hope they're right. So what do you guys think of my predictions? And for all you people that are already at the end of 2021 because you're watching this video later, was I right? I always love making these prediction videos because I just get to talk about what I think might happen this year, look to the future, you know? It's always fun. It's just fun to imagine what the future could hold for us. Mostly Nintendo, not us. We're talking about video games here. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope that maybe you like my predictions. Maybe you're like, oh yeah, some good ideas here. Or maybe like you're looking at the future and it's like, wizard. But yeah, I think that's about going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy, make sure you subscribe. Supports the channel, helps us continue to grow and make more content. And if you really just want to support me and everything even more, you can go follow me on Twitter at XenogamerYT. You can join our Discord server with the link in the description below. And you can check out our streams every week on Twitch on Friday nights. And it's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing them. And I think you would enjoy being there and hanging out as well. So check them out. Thanks again, guys, for watching. Make sure you let me know in the comments below. I want to see your predictions. Outlandish, super safe, no matter what. Post them below. Let me see. I need to be justified that Pikmin 4 actually is coming this year. Next year. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later. Have a good one. Bye.